Most producers think that their beats aren't hitting because they don't have enough sounds, but in reality, they have way too many. This is what overproducing sounds like. Cluttered, no space for the artist, and no real bounce. Now listen to this one. Fewer sounds, way more bounce, and way more space for the artist to breathe and catch a flow. Now let me break this down and show you exactly what I mean. So here's the busy version. As you guys can see, it already has a lot of melodies just in itself. Definitely R&B, a lot of xenology, contact, keyscape. But with that being said, whenever you have a really busy melody, guys, you want to do the inverse. So think of it like this. Busy melody, simple drums. Simple melody, busy drums. So in this busy version, it's just way too much going on in this drum pattern. And this is a common mistake I see all the time with beginners that are just getting into music production. So I'm going to play the drum pattern individually so you guys can hear just how cluttered and crowded it really is. No real space for the hi-hats to breathe. And same here with the rim. Not to mention way too many kicks. And to an unexperienced listener, this might sound like this is good. But if you really sit here and try to come up with a flow as an artist over top of something like this, it can be a little difficult. And we got to remember when we're playing beats or we're sending beats out, one wrong sound in the wrong place or too much of anything could simply make an artist be like, I don't know about this one. Like, let's go to the next beat. So when you play that complicated drum pattern over top of an already complicated loop, you get congestion and you get cluttering. Too much going on. Which is not what we want. Now when I go to the uncluttered version of this, watch what happens when we just strip these drums down. So right off the bat, you see how many notes I took out of this hi-hat. It's no longer playing a two-step pattern. Listen how those percussions are able to breathe too, the little drop effect. You have space for all of those things to have their own spot in the mix. And notice how many of the kicks I took out as well. Less is more. Much more room for words. Much more room for harmonies. And in that other version, these percussions wouldn't even have a space to be heard. Like you wouldn't even be able to have something like this just that you could hear. And it has its own space in the mix. And then with the chimes added in as well, it adds another subtle effect. So we got that really complex melody. And now we have a bunch of simple drums that just complement it perfectly. So with all that together, now we have something that is actually ready for an artist to get on. 20 times easier to get on than that other version. Much more smooth, free flowing. And in terms of the instruments used in the melody, just to give you guys some more value, really good stuff for R&B. We use this SQ80V. We use the analogy for pretty much everything else. Contact, we use the Neurofelt piano. Everyone knows about that, but really good sounds for R&B stuff, man. Like I said, guys, overall, the biggest thing I see with beginner producers is just not that your sounds are bad. You're just using too much of them, and you don't necessarily know where to place them. Overdoing it can kill any beat. And for context, you know, I'll show it here. But this one beat I produced for an artist named GTS. The song is called Love Is War. It got a few million streams, a few million views on YouTube and whatnot. And I swear to you not, I used 3 sounds in this song, and it changed my whole perspective. I used a rim, an 808, and a kick. Someone did send me the loop, but in terms of the drums, I used 3 sounds, guys. I repeated it over and over again, and people loved that song, man. I got paid thousands of dollars for it, and I'm telling you, it took me 5 to 10 minutes, and I used 3 sounds. But you have to trust yourself. You know, when you're doing that, you have to trust that the artist will see your vision. So don't make beats and feel like, man, it needs more, it needs more, it needs more. Like, just trust yourself. You know, if you feel like it sounds good and it's not overcomplicated, then that's it. Go on to the next beat, save it. But when you overthink and feel like you always need another sound, that's when it gets cluttered, and that's when people most likely will press skip if it's not cohesive. When I listen to a lot of newer producers' beats, it sounds like you're really just trying to impress producers. We're not trying to impress producers, man. We're trying to get records. And as you can see, the clean version of this beat is really good until we got to that second version where I started adding in more hi-hats, I started adding in more kicks, and just started getting ahead of myself. And now you can't even nod your head to it. So with that being said, once you start thinking like an artist instead of a producer, your ear will change. And that's the exact type of mindset shift I teach in my program. And me personally, when I started to simplify my beats and loops, that's when things started to pop off. That's when more artists started to buy them. That's when placements started to come in, and that's when other producers started using my loops more. If you're tired of your beats not connecting with artists, people aren't listening to them, people aren't buying them, hit the link below and you'll be able to hop on a one-on-one call with me, and I'll help you out. And the last tip I'll leave you guys with, man, next time you guys are finishing and about to export a beat, mute some of the sounds in the beat and just see what happens. Space is power. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, guys. It's going to be a lot more videos like this on the way. Stay blessed.